1. Introduction. My name is Fanny. I want to tell you about my life. I am 26 years old. I live in a city. My home is a small apartment. I live with my husband, Liam. We have been married for 1 year. Liam is 29 years old. He has a job. He works in an office every day. I also have a job. I work from morning until the afternoon. My job is important to me. After my work finishes, my second job begins. This second job is at home. I come home and start to clean. I clean the rooms. I clean the kitchen and the bathroom. Then I cook dinner for us. After cooking, I wash our clothes. There are many things to do in the house. I do everything. I do all the household chores. It takes much time and energy. Liam's day is different. He comes home after his work. He takes off his shoes. Then he goes directly to the living room. He sits on the sofa. He turns on the television. He watches TV for many hours. Sometimes he watches until it is very late. He does not help me with the house. He does not ask if I need help. He just sits and watches the screen. I look at him sitting there. I see the television light on his face. I feel very tired. My body hurts from working all day. My mind also feels tired. I feel like I live 2 different lives. One life is at my job where I work hard. The other life is at home where I also work hard. It feels like I am always busy, always working. I love Liam very much. He is my husband. But sometimes I feel very alone. I do all the work in the house by myself. He is next to me, but he is not with me. He is watching TV. I wish he would help me. I wish we could do things together. This feeling of loneliness is difficult. I feel tired and alone even when he is in the same room. Our marriage is 1 year old, and it is hard sometimes, even though I love him. 2. My sad life. Every evening was the same. The sun went down, and my day at work ended. Then my second day began at home. I felt a heavy feeling in my heart. The hours passed slowly, filled with the sounds of cooking and the quiet hum of the television. I often looked at the clock, wishing for the day to be over, but knowing tomorrow would bring the same routine. The apartment felt large and quiet, even with Liam there. His presence was not a comfort. It was a reminder of my lonely tasks. I went to the kitchen. I opened the fridge and took out food. I started to chop vegetables and cook meat. The kitchen became warm with steam. I made dinner every night. Liam sat in the living room. He did not ask if I needed help. He did not come to the kitchen. He just watched his TV show. The smell of the food filled the air, but it did not bring him to help. I put the food on plates. I carried them to the table. We ate, mostly in silence. Sometimes he asked about my day, but his eyes often went back to the screen in the other room. He seemed far away, even when he was sitting across from me. When we finished eating, Liam stood up. He left his plate on the table right where he had eaten. He did not take it to the sink. He walked back to the sofa. He sat down and picked up the TV remote control again. He smiled at the screen. It was like the dinner had never happened for him, just a quick pause from his show. His focus was only on the television, and I felt invisible. I looked at the plates on the table. There were pots and pans, too, full of leftovers or cooking marks. I carried them to the sink. I put on the water. It was hot. My hands often felt tired from work and then from these endless chores. I washed each plate, each fork, each pan. The water ran and the soap made bubbles. Sometimes tears came to my eyes. I did not make a sound. I just let them fall quietly into the sink with the water. My hands hurt from the work, but my heart hurt more from being alone. The sound of the running water covered my small, silent cries. I wanted a partner. I wanted a husband who would stand next to me, not just sit on the sofa. I wanted someone who would share the work, who would see my tiredness. I did not want a lazy man. This was not the life I had dreamed of when we got married. This was not the happy future I had imagined. But I kept my thoughts inside. I was afraid to speak. I was afraid to tell Liam how I truly felt. I hid my tears. I hid my sadness. I hoped things would change, but every evening was the same sad story. 3, I shout at him. It was a Saturday. The sun was bright. I woke up early. I wanted to clean our apartment. It needed much work. I decided to clean everything. Our home needed to be fresh and neat. First, I cleaned the kitchen. I washed the sink and wiped the counters. Then, I cleaned the living room. I dusted furniture and vacuumed. After that, I cleaned the windows. This was hard work. My arms felt tired, but I kept going. I also cleaned the bathroom. I scrubbed the toilet and the shower. I wanted every part of our home perfect. Hours passed. I felt very tired but proud. The apartment looked wonderful. I thought about resting. While I worked, Liam slept. He always slept late on Saturdays. It was nearly 11 o'clock when he woke up. I hoped he would see my hard work. I hoped he would help. Maybe he would make coffee. But he did not. He came into the living room. His eyes were sleepy. He walked to the television. He picked up the remote. Then he turned on the TV. The loud sound filled the room. He sat on the sofa. He did not look at me or the clean apartment. This was too much. I was holding the mop. I had just finished cleaning the floor. My hands hurt. My back hurt. My head felt heavy. I looked at Liam. He was already watching a show. He looked comfortable and happy. But I was not happy. I felt something break inside me. All my sadness and tiredness came out. I could not hide it. I put the mop down with a loud sound. I turned to him. My eyes were full of tears. My voice started to shake. I could not stop. I started to shout. "Liam," I cried. "Do you see me? Do you see what I do? I work at my job and then I work here. I clean everything. I cook. I wash. What do? You sleep. You watch TV. You do nothing to help me." My words came out fast. My face was wet with tears. "I am not your maid, Liam. I am your wife. Why do I do everything alone? You never cook. You never clean. I am so tired of this life." Liam stopped watching TV. He looked at me. His eyes were wide. He seemed very surprised. He did not say a word. He just sat there, silent. He looked shocked. My shouting stopped. Only my breathing was loud. The TV was still on, but he was not watching. He was looking at me, his wife, crying and angry. It was the first time I spoke to him like this. He truly saw my pain. He says sorry. The evening came slowly after my shouts. The apartment felt very quiet. Liam did not turn on the television. This was a big change. He usually went straight to the sofa after work, but today was different. He sat on the edge of the sofa, far from the TV remote. I sat on the armchair, my body still shaking a little from crying. A heavy silence filled the room. It felt like time stopped. I did not know what to say, and Liam did not speak either. I looked at my hands. My eyes were still red and a little swollen. After a long time, Liam moved. He stood up slowly and walked towards me. My heart started to beat faster. I did not know what he would do. He sat down next to me on the armchair, which was a bit small for two people. He did not say anything for a moment. Then he gently took my hand. His hand felt warm. I looked at his face. It was red, not from anger, but from something else. Maybe shame, maybe sadness. He looked at me with serious eyes. His voice was soft, very different from the usual loud sounds of the TV. "Fanny," he began, "I am so sorry. I truly am." He held my hand a little tighter. I never thought about it like this. My mother always did everything at home for me. She cooked, she cleaned, she washed clothes. I never had to help. So I never learned. I never understood how much work it was. He paused, looking down at our hands. "But today, when you shouted, I saw you. I saw your pain. I saw how tired you are. I saw that I was wrong. I was not a good husband." His voice was low and sad. "I do not want to lose you, Fanny. I love you very much. Please believe me. I do not want to live without you." His words were like a soft rain after a storm. I listened carefully. My mind was full of thoughts. Part of me felt a little hope. Maybe he really understood. Maybe things could change. But another part of me was afraid. Could he truly change? Was this just for one day because I shouted? Would he forget tomorrow and go back to the TV? I had felt lonely for so long. It was hard to believe things could be different. But when I looked into his eyes, I saw something new. I saw truth there. I saw real sadness and real regret. It was not just words. It felt sincere. He squeezed my hand again. The silence returned, but this time it was a different kind of silence. It was not heavy with anger or loneliness. It was a silence filled with new feelings, with a small seed of hope. We sat there for a long time, just holding hands, not watching TV. It was the first time in a long time that we truly sat together, just us. 5, a new morning. The sun came up slowly. I opened my eyes. It was a new day, but something was different. I smelled a strange smell. It was like food, but not quite right. It was a little strong. My heart felt a little worried. I got out of bed and walked quietly to the living room. The smell was stronger there. It came from the kitchen. I walked into the kitchen. I saw Liam. He stood near the stove. He held a pan. Steam came from the pan. He was trying to cook something. I looked closer. There were eggs in the pan. They were not perfect. Some parts were dark. They were a little burned. The smell in the kitchen was from these eggs. Liam turned and saw me. He smiled. His face was a little red from the heat. He looked a little nervous, but also happy. "Good morning, Fanny," he said. "I made breakfast." He pointed to the pan. "Eggs." "For you." I felt a warm feeling in my chest. It was a new feeling. Liam had never cooked before, not once. He had always waited for me to make food. Now he was here trying to cook eggs. Even if they were burned, it was a big thing. My eyes felt wet. I smiled at him. "Thank you, Liam," I said. He put the eggs on a plate for me. "They are not perfect," he said again, a little shy. "But I tried." "They are perfect," I told him, "because you made them." I sat at the table. They tasted a little smoky, but I did not mind. It was the best breakfast I had eaten in a long time. It was not about the food. It was about his effort. It was about him doing something new. After breakfast, Liam did not sit on the sofa. He stayed in the kitchen. He looked at the dirty plates. He picked them up, then he walked to the sink. He turned on the water. He took a sponge. He started to wash the dishes. I watched him. My heart felt full. He was really trying. He held a plate. He put soap on the sponge. He rubbed the plate. But then his hand slipped. The plate fell into the sink. It hit the side with a loud sound. Crash! The plate broke into 2 big pieces. Liam looked at the broken plate. He looked at me. His face was sad. "Oh no," he said. "I am so sorry, Fanny." I walked to him. I put my hand on his arm. "It is okay, Liam," I said. "It is just a plate." I was not angry, not at all. I was happy, very happy. He was learning. He was making mistakes, but he was not giving up. He was trying. For the first time, he was truly trying to help. This morning was different. It was a new beginning. I felt hope, real hope. 6, we worked together. The next few weeks were different. Not everything changed at once, but little by little, things started to get better. Liam really tried to help. Sometimes he still forgot. He would leave his dirty clothes on the bedroom floor. But then I would look at them, and before I could say anything, he would pick them up. He started to remember more often. He tried to do things around the house, even if he did not know how at first. One day I was busy with work. Liam came into the kitchen. He wanted to make dinner. He asked, "Fanny, what can I cook?" I told him, "Maybe some soup. It is simple." He looked at the vegetables. He did not know how to cut them. I showed him slowly. He watched carefully. He cut the carrots and potatoes. It took a long time, but he did it. The soup was not perfect, but it was warm and tasty. It was his first time making a meal, and I was very proud of him. We started to do many chores together. In the evenings, after work, we would go to the kitchen. Sometimes I chopped the vegetables and he stirred the pot. Other times he put the plates on the table and I cooked the rice. We talked while we worked. We laughed. It felt good to share these moments. Before, I was always alone in the kitchen. Now I had a partner. Cleaning the apartment also changed. On Saturdays, we worked side by side. He learned to use the vacuum cleaner. I showed him how to clean the bathroom sink. It was not always easy. Sometimes we had small arguments. I might say, "You missed a spot." And he might sigh and say, "I am trying." But we always finished the work. We learned to talk about what needed to be done. We learned to help each other. It was a process. Like learning a new dance, we sometimes stepped on each other's toes, but we kept trying. We learned to be patient. I learned to let him try, even if he did it differently than me. He learned to ask for help when he did not know something. These small steps built something big. Slowly, our home felt different. It was not just my house anymore. It was our home. It was a place where we both worked and rested. The feeling of being a team grew stronger every day. I no longer felt like a maid. I felt like a wife, and he felt like a husband who shared the load. We were learning to live together, truly together, for the first time in our marriage. It was a wonderful change, full of small victories and shared smiles. We were building our life, one shared chore at a time. 7, a nice surprise. The evening was quiet after dinner. I looked at Liam. He had just finished eating his food. He put his fork down and pushed his plate a little away. Then he stood up from the table. My eyes followed him. My heart felt a little heavy in my chest. I remembered the old days. I remembered how he used to go straight to the sofa after dinner. He would turn on the television. I would be left alone with all the dirty dishes. I did not want those days to come back. I had hoped that he had truly changed. We had worked hard together for many weeks. He had tried to help me, and I had learned to speak my mind. But sometimes old habits are strong. I wondered if he would go to the sofa again. I felt a small fear inside me, a worry that things might return to how they were before. It was a moment of test for both of us. Liam walked past the sofa. My eyes were wide. He did not stop there. He went to the kitchen. He walked to the table and picked up his plate. Then he picked up my plate too. My mouth opened a little in surprise. This was not his usual way. He carried both plates to the kitchen sink. He put them down carefully. I watched every single movement he made. My heavy heart started to feel a little lighter with each step he took towards the sink. He turned on the water. Then he looked at me and smiled. It was a warm, kind smile, full of a new understanding. "Fanny," he said. His voice was soft and clear. "Please sit down. You can rest tonight. I will wash all the dishes." I felt a big surprise. My eyes went from his face to the dirty plates in the sink. He was really going to do it. He was going to wash them all by himself. I slowly sat down in my chair again. I watched him. He took the sponge and some soap. He started to clean the first plate. His back was a little bent over the sink. He was focused on his task. Sometimes a little water went on his shirt. He did not mind. He just kept washing, one plate after another. I watched him for a long time. The kitchen was full of the sound of water and plates. It was a good sound. It was not the sound of me crying alone. It was the sound of my husband helping. A deep sense of peace came over me. I felt so much love for him at that moment. This was not just a small help. This was a big change. He was not just trying for one day or for a few days. He was really trying to be a better partner. He was truly changing. He was not the lazy man from before. He was still Liam, my husband, but a new Liam. He was a man who listened, who cared, and who helped. He was my true partner. I smiled. It was a real, happy smile. This was indeed a very nice surprise. My heart was full. 8, our life now. 1 year has passed since that important day. Our life now feels very different. Our marriage is much better than it was before. I often think about how things were. It was a hard time, and I felt very lonely every evening. Now I do not feel alone anymore. This is the biggest change. Life is still not perfect, of course. No life is always perfect. Sometimes I still feel tired after a long day at work. My body might ache a little, but there is a very big difference now. When I come home, Liam is often in the kitchen. He helps me cook dinner. Or he asks me, "What can I do to help you, Fanny?" This question means so much. It means I have a true partner in my life. Liam is not perfect, and that is completely okay. He still enjoys watching television. Sometimes he will sit on the sofa just like he did before. But now his actions are different. He does not sit there all evening while I do everything alone. He helps with the chores first. He remembers to take the plates to the sink after we eat. He sometimes washes them all without me even asking him. These small actions are very important. They show me that he cares deeply. They show me that he tries his best every day. The changes were not only for Liam. I also learned many important things during this time. Before, I was often quiet. I did not tell him how I felt inside. I kept my sadness and my tiredness a secret, but I learned to speak up. I learned to tell him when I needed help. I learned to share my true feelings with him. This was a very big lesson for me, too. We both changed for the better. We grew together as a couple. We are still learning new things every day. Sometimes we still have small arguments just like all couples do. But now we talk about them. We find solutions together. We work as a team to make our home a happy place. This is truly what a marriage should be. I often watch Liam now. Sometimes he is washing the dishes and he hums a little song to himself. Sometimes he is folding clothes and he laughs at his own small mistakes. When I see him like this, I feel a deep sense of peace in my heart. I feel a lot of love for him. He is not just the lazy man I knew before. He is my husband, my best friend, and my helper. He is my partner in everything. We built this new life together, side by side. It took time and it took effort from both of us, but it was definitely worth every moment. Our life now is full of shared moments and happy times, not lonely evenings. We are a strong team, and I am truly very happy.